The fine-tuning argument is often said to be the best argument for the existence of God, and is based on the idea that life-permitting constants of nature are incredibly unlikely without a deity, and so God is needed to set the dials just right to give us a life-permitting universe. But Chris Hitchcock, professor of philosophy of science at Caltech and joint editor of the Oxford Handbook of Probability and Philosophy, thinks the argument is deeply flawed.
We can't just calculate probabilities a priori. We need to have some understanding of the mechanism that produces outcomes, or some kind of pattern of repeated trials that we can use to estimate a probability. So as an illustration, here's a jar, and it contains both black beans and red lentils. It's kind of a vegetarian's delight with mixed legumes. So suppose I were to shake this randomly. What's the probability that all of the black beans would come out on top, or would be in the top half of this layer of the jar? Well, we might try to compute that a priori. The probability that any one black bean will be in the top half of the jar is 1/2. And since there are 100 of them, the probability that all 100 of them will be in the top half would be 1/2 to the 100th. So this is an astronomically small number. So what happens when we shake? What's going on? Well, we understand the process here. These beans are in a gravitational field. They're moving about, but there's a force that's trying to pull them downwards. And the little tiny red lentils are small, and they're able to kind of fall down through the nooks and crannies that the bigger black beans create. And so this process, it's random in the sense that it's not directed. There isn't an intelligent agency behind it. But it's a process that's taking place under a bias that is leading towards the red lentils to go to the bottom and the black beans to the top. And you have to understand the process to know that this outcome is in fact likely. It's in fact what you expect. And this number that you calculated a priori doesn't really have anything to do with what's going on inside that jar.
And for the constants of nature, we don't know the process that selects these numbers. Perhaps our universe was born with non-random, but still naturally selected values, something we discuss in the longer film this clip was taken from. To see the whole film, click on the link in the description below.